Good morning and welcome to the second year of your studies in the Bachelor of Social Work degree. My name is Adrian from Breda. You might remember me from the fourth term of last year when you did the section on the plan change process and the generalist intervention model and theories of social work practice. I didn't teach that module to you in person last year because I was overseas for most of the term. Mr. Zikli Maseko taught on my behalf. Happily, I'm back on campus and I'll be teaching you in this quarter. And I'm really looking forward to meeting with you next week on the first Tuesday of term on Valentine's Day. This is quite an exciting year for you. Last year in first year, we were laying a general foundation of knowledge about the context in which we practice, the history of social welfare in this country, and a basic introduction to the key concepts in social work. You might remember in the fourth term that we covered the levels of practice, micro, meso, and macro, work with individuals, work with groups, and work with communities. And we did that kind of 1 or 2 classes. This year, you'll be spending a whole term on each of those levels so that we really dig into detail into the practice implications of work at the macro, meso, and micro levels. In the first term with me, we'll be focusing on micro practice, which is essentially equivalent to counseling with individuals and families. In the second term, you'll be focusing on meso practice or work with groups. And in the fourth term, you'll focus on macro practice, work with communities. So we spend a whole term on each of those 3 levels of practice. In the third term, you have a course called Populations at Risk, which focuses on particular groups of people who may need additional knowledge and attention from you as a professional social worker. So this year is a very, very practice-oriented year. And everything that we do in class this term and indeed throughout the year has direct implications for your practice. Every single class that you'll do with me in the first quarter addresses things that you will be expected to put into practice in the second and third terms in your internship work. You will move into the field in the second term this year to start working with individual children in schools, and you'll be providing individual counseling to them in the second term and then group counseling to them in the third term. And everything that I teach is designed to equip you with the knowledge of the processes and the skills that you would need to have ready to implement when you are working with your clients. So we start this first term with a lecture on assessment. And we touched on that briefly last year in the plan change process, but now we'll spend a longer class on it. And we'll work on the broad process of assessment as well as the genogram and ecomap. And then we move into 5 practice models. These are theories or approaches to practice that draw on different skills and techniques, different processes that you would work with in order to help clients who have different kinds of issues. And we'll spend a lecture on each one of those. And for an assignment, you will do a 6th practice model that you can select from a set of 10 options. There will be 2 assessments this term. There's quite a large essay, which is that extra practice model that you will do on your own. And then there is a shorter reflection on countertransference that you will do in May. And that links back to some work that you did in the internship last year, where you focused on how your personal issues that you addressed in the self-essay might impact on your practice. And we'll be digging into that a little bit more deeply this semester. We'll continue to follow a blended learning approach this term. And what that means is that you will be doing some of your learning online and other learning in class. Specifically, each class during this term has a pre-recorded lecture that is about 1 hour in length that you must watch before you come to class. That is the formal teaching, and all of the knowledge that you need for each module, each class, will be covered in that online lecture. You can watch it in video format on YouTube, which is a bit like what you're watching now. You'll see my face, you'll see the PowerPoint slides, you'll hear my voice, and that's probably the nicest way, the most engaging way for you to get those lectures. However, YouTube does use quite a bit of video, so just make sure that you have access to cheap data or free data before you do that. I've also made available to you a very low resolution audio recording of the same lectures, and you can listen to those while you follow along with the PowerPoint slides on your laptop or your device. So you must do these lectures before you come to class, including our very first class, which is on Tuesday on Valentine's Day. So you must listen to lecture 1 before you come to class, because I will not be repeating the lecture in class. What we'll do in class, which is similar to what you did with Zichle last year, is that we will workshop the information that was covered in the online lecture. We'll have small group discussions, some individual work activities. We'll have conversations around how applicable these practice models are in an African post-colonial, post-apartheid context. Do they work? How can they work? How can we make them work? What can we come up with that is unique to our contexts? There will be no hybrid classes this term. In other words, I will not be live streaming classes so that you can attend lectures from home or elsewhere. All of the classes will take place on campus in DLS 201. So I really hope that this will be an exciting and interesting year for you. This is the year where you really start to do social work practice, and that's exciting and slightly terrifying. And I hope that you will enjoy this class with me, because it will lay the foundation of knowledge that you need in the second term when you start sitting with a client in front of you and actually counseling them. So I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday, and I wish you well. Have a great weekend, and see you in a couple of days. Cheers now.